Today I'm going to be talking about the best liquidity, which is opening range high and low. Just by using this one simple liquidity, I was able to receive over $100,000 in payouts in one single month, moving me to live and still receiving consistent payouts month through month after that. So the main reason why opening range high and low is the best drawn liquidity is because it's formed every day at 9:45. So it's formed from 9:30 to 9:45, which is basically the highest and the lowest point of the 15-minute candle. You can see this is the 9:30 15-minute candle here, so it's simply just the highest and the lowest point. So this will be your opening range high right here, and the lowest point will be your opening range low. So looking on the 30-second, once at 9:45 when it officially forms, right when this candle closes, this will be your official opening range high, and this will be your official opening range low. All right, since opening range high and low forms every day at 9:45, we're able to collect data and treat it statistically, pretty much trade to open range high and low statistically. So open range high and low has a 97% hit rate from 9:45 when it's formed all the way to 10:15. So that means from 9:45 right at this line right here to 10:15, which is usually when I end the trading. So within 9:45 to 10:15, either one side open range high or open range low will get hit 97% of the time. So wouldn't you want to trade a drawn liquidity that gets hit 97% of the time within a half an hour window? So that's a very high percentage hit rate. And the closest open range that price is formed right now, price will be 41.25 points to open range high and 150 points to open range low. So it's closer to open range high right now, which means if open range high and low gets hit 97% of the time, then that means 70% of the time price will hit this open range high just because it formed closer to it at 9:45. All right. So pretty much you have a 70% chance that open range high will get hit right now, assuming that one side is going to get hit, which is 97% of the time. All right, I'm just going to be backtesting the entire month of July since it's currently August, so that's the last full month that we have. I'm going to be using Forex Factory just to show any bank holidays and any potential red folder news. You don't want to be in the trade for those. So I'm just going to skip the first 10 minutes of price action, so then it'll be 9:40, and then usually at like 9:42, 9:43, I can able to predict where open range high or low will be just based off like the fair value gaps created and where price is closer to right now. So right now we are closer to open range high, but conditions are super poor right now, and there's still 5 minutes, which is 10 30-second candles. So we still have a lot of time until open range high or low. So open range high and low is officially formed. This is my opening range low, and then this will be my opening range high at 9:30. So if you look in the 15-minute candle, once this 9:30 15-minute candle closes, so this is from 9:30 to 9:45, this is the next 15-minute candle from 9:45 to 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna mark the highest and the lowest point of the 9:30 15-minute candle, and that will be your opening range high and low. So right now, opening range low, it did form closer to, so it has a higher percentage chance to get hit, but it kind of like wicked it. So I think if price wanted open range low, it would have body closed deeper down here. Conditions are still poor, so I'm just gonna see what price does. We are continuing towards open range high right now. There is a gap here. If this gap gets inverse, likely gonna see opening range low. So we do tap into the gap. Let's see if we deliver out of it or inverse it. So it does look like we deliver out of it. So there's a 1 minute gap too that we wicked. We didn't even body close in it. Okay, so this is the next 1 minute candle. So this is a 1 minute entry right now. I'm just gonna take this to open a range high. Let's see. So we tapped into this 1 minute gap here and delivered out of it with a body candle closure above this high here. So this is a pretty safe trade for me. I'm just gonna put my stop loss at 40 points. That's usually the max I'll risk, and I'll just hold for a 1-to-1 and go break even at opening range high if I'm able to, but it'll probably just take it out anyways since it's so close. So I'm just gonna buy 1 mini now and then TP and stop loss. All right, just gonna go on a 30-second just to see price. All right, so we did take out open range high right here, I believe, and then see if we can get our 1-to-1. So we do get our 1-to-1. I think yeah, we created equal highs with open range high, so I wouldn't even consider this taken just because it didn't. I mean, it didn't even get a tick above this, so it wasn't even taken yet. So I didn't go break even. So holding the full trade out, even though it was a bit choppy, price did take open range high. After delivering out of this gap, and there was a super tiny 30-second gap here that we also did respect as well. This 1 minute gap here too. You can see this 1 minute gap here. So, that's the first trade. Just going on the next day, skipping the first 10 minutes again. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now let's see. So we're closer to the low right now. Um, let's pretty much play until 9:45 and then see what happens. So, all right, we're closer to overrange high again. Okay, so overrange high and low is formed. This will be my open range high right here. And then my opening range low is going to be down here, which is the 930 low also. So we are closer to open range high, but we did inverse this little gap here. So could see open range low if we inverse this small 30-second here. See if there's anything on the 1 minute. We would have to inverse this 1 minute gap as well. So if we inverse that, likely to see open range low. We also do have a fair value gap here that we just created. So if we want open range high, we would have to inverse this. Um, okay, price is not really delivering out of anything right now. So we did inverse this gap, but I'm not going to take it this inversion just because price is so choppy. But I'm pretty sure this will hit. It's pretty close to open range high right now, just based off this inversion. So we did take open range high. So if you had like an eval or like you just needed 10 points to pass or anything, that would is pretty easy IFEG. Um, but just because of the poor conditions, I wasn't gonna take that. So this might be a bank holiday. Okay, the third is a bank holiday, so I'm just gonna skip this day. This day is a lot more volume. What day is today? The 6th. So the 6th is ISM. So hopefully we get open high low before 10 o'clock to avoid the red folder news altogether. So I'm just gonna go to 30 seconds. So we did inverse backup. So open range high is probably a bit more favorable right now since we did inverse this big gap, but we are gonna create another 30-second gap. So we'll see how price reacts to that. So we have two 30-second gaps here. Um, in the next 30 seconds, this will be a 1 minute candle as well. So I'm just gonna see how price wants to go. Looks like it wants to go to open range high, but then we kind of inverse down, so conditions are not really too clear right now. Let's see. All right, it's 9:44 right now. All right. So in the next candle, this will be my opening range high, and this will be my opening range low down here. So right now, price is delivering out of this open range low. My main condition is if this gets inversed upwards, then open range high is going to get taken out. 30 points because we are delivering out of this 30-second right here. Still delivering out of this 1 minute as well. We did inverse this big 30-second back up and then we came down. We inversed this one, but it was just to tap into this lower 30-second here. So right now, if we inverse this gap right here, I'll just enter my position right at the front run of that IFEG because usually if it inverses it with speed, your entry might be here and you would have negative risk to reward. So I'll put my stop loss at 40 points and then just hold for the full 40 again. And then if I'm able to, I'll go break even at the upper range high, but we'll see if it lets me. All right, let's create an order here. All right, it's not letting me create a limit order, so I think the next best thing is I'm just gonna go on the 1 second time frame then, and then manually market order once we enter that front run. That's pretty much the best that's I'm gonna be able to do. So I'm just gonna go on 1 second. Once we get like a 1 second body closure above that black line, I will enter. So right there, I'll go back on to 30 second. I'll buy, set my take profit up here, 40 points, and then stop loss 40 points as well. So I think it's gonna skip two candles since I'm in the middle of one candle already. So it did skip two candles. So we did officially inverse, which is really nice. And we got a 1 minute inversion as well. I'm gonna delete this line. Right now price is super close to open range high, so we do take opening range high and then hit our full take profit C. So price is just so easy to tell if it's gonna get to open range high or low just by creating like conditions in your mind. If price inverses this gap, then open range high is more likely. If it does this, then open range low is more likely. So just like examples like that, All right, we're on the 7th now. July 7th, no news Tuesday. So we're just gonna skip ahead. Let's see what we get. It's 9:40 right now. I just skipped to it. All right. It's officially 9:45 right now, so we got open range high and low. This is my open range high at 9:30. And then this is my opening range low here. All right, so right now price is kind of in the middle of both. We officially formed open range high like right here, so it's closer to open range high. Open range high is 90 points and open range low is 100 points. So statistically, open range high does have a higher chance to get hit. If price inverses this 30-second fair value gap right here, we're likely to see open range high. We're in a 30-second gap right here. There is a wick mitigated gap here. So if we inverse this gap down here, we're most likely to see open range low. So just pretty much whichever one gets inversed. There's a small one here too. So we'll see if we deliver out of this one. But I'm just going to wait for one of these to be inversed pretty much. So you do come back down. We do tap into this gap, officially inversing this gap. We don't inverse it quite yet. All right, we get a huge displacement candle out. So this displacement candle is coming out of this 30-second gap, which is not a 1 minute gap. So it's out of this 30-second gap. So it's kind of like a lot of bearish momentum right here out of this gap. A lot of buyers stepped in. Um, so typically with the displacement candle, we would like to see another 30-second candle, displacement candle, to make this a 1 minute candle. See, this is like 9:48. This will be 9:48:30, which will create the second half of this 1 minute candle. So if we play on the 30-second, we do not. So that 1 minute candle before, it kind of looks like a wick now, and you can see that we did wick this 1 minute fair value gap here. So this second 30-second candle was very important. If this was bullish, it would have ended up here inversing this 1 minute gap, and we likely would have seen this fair value gap at least be tapped into, possibly inverse to open range high. However, it was bearish, kind of flipping this bullish displacement candle, so we did not get a bullish 1 minute displacement candle. So if the second candle was bullish, then this would have been an entire, like, the body would have been up here and it would have been a lot more cleaner to the upside. But just going to enter off here off of the failure of this displacement candle. So this is a very discretionary trade, but I did take this trade in real time. I do remember this trade because it was like highly discretional. See 40 points, and if I'll target open range low as my take profit. So I'm going to sell, take profit down here, and then stop loss at 40 points. So actually, to be even safer, I'm just going to put my stop loss at 31 points because I really don't want to see price traveling above this candle because it would pretty much validate this displacement candle again. So a displacement candle is pretty much just a lot of buyers or sellers in one direction. So you would want that to continue. Otherwise, this candle invalidated it. So we do officially inverse this gap too. So if we didn't enter here, you could have entered at the front run of the gap right here, which would have been maybe like would have been 20 points. We do create a 30-second fair value gap here while we're in the trade from our entry candle, which we do wick into and respect, and then full take profit from there just off of the failure of the displacement candle. So I'm just gonna go next day. Right now it's the 8th, so I'm just gonna skip the first 10 minutes again. All right, what do we have on the 8th? FOMC, so there's no news that we have to be worried about. Um, we're definitely close to open range high. To get to open range low, we will need to inverse this wick mitigate gap here. We are very bullish. Just trying to look at the time. So we're in this gap right now. It's 9:44. Okay, so we do inverse this gap. Pretty likely that price is gonna take opening range high out instantly. So this will be my opening range high. And opening range low is all the way down here. So if price is super close to one side, like in this scenario, it's super close to open range high. Open range low is not very likely to be seen at all just because of these unmitigated gaps here, like all these 1 minute gaps too, and 2 and 3 minute gaps as well. Maybe even a 5 minute too. There's a 5 minute gap here that we would have to get through to get to open range low. So you could have also entered at the front run of this gap, but I don't really like it because of this wick here. We should have inversed it on this candle here, but we didn't. And then just targeting open range high. Price is already so close to open range high too. Might get pretty negative risk to reward. So in a risk back down. So pretty much guaranteed that price is gonna hit overrange high out right here. So if you had an eval, you can literally chuck this and just hold this trade right here pretty much. But this would be negative risk to reward. But it's like the most freest 10 points ever pretty much. But I'm not gonna take this. But yeah, we take overrange high. So next day, it's very easy to predict where it's gonna get hit. I'm telling you guys. All right. This 30-second chart looks miserable. Let's skip to the 30-second. We get huge displacement up. Wow. See, it's accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Okay, on the 9th, usually in days like this, we might not even get an entry if it continues to just come up. So I do like that we're coming back lower. Would like to retap into this gap before 9:45. Unfortunately, we start coming higher. So at this point, at like 9:44:30, price is probably going to take out opening range high out instantly, just like the day before. And we probably will not get a setup just because opening range high is literally like 20 points away right now. We're in this 30-second gap here, so you could kind of enter as soon as this next candle flips bullish, but it's kind of risky. I'll probably just fade this setup since we're already so close to open range high. So you would like to see this next candle take out open range high, which it does, take it out at 9:45 officially. So just because it was so close, it was very obvious it was going to hit open range high. It has 70% chance to get hit statistically pretty much. So just gonna skip the first 10 minutes and then on okay, 30 seconds. It is 9:40 at July 10th. So July 10th is no news Friday, so we might not get anything. Let's see. So looks like we're coming up a bit. We still have a few, like maybe 6 candles until open range is formed, so it could potentially come up. Would like to see this gap get inversed if we do want opening range high though. It is a 1 minute, so make it a 1 minute. So I would like this gap to get inversed. We inverse this lower 30-second, but we could inverse this lower 30-second to get to this one to get to overrange low. So I'm just gonna wait to see if we inverse this gap or not. We do mitigate it. Kind of looks like it's gonna come higher. So open range high and low is formed. So this will be my opening range high, and this will be my opening range low. So right now, I kind of like open range high, especially because we already mitigate this gap and we are coming up a bit. See if we inverse this gap here though. Um, I will enter off of the inversion of this gap. So right here, if I can put the signal out right there, I'm just gonna go on the 1 second time frame again because it's not letting me set a limit order for some reason. So I'm gonna go on the 1 second and just skip until we hit this black line and then I will just enter with the market order. So let's just wait. All right, we do get a body candle closure above there. So this is front running it in the next 1 second. So in the bottom here, it's 9:46:29. So in 1 second, the next candle will be out anyway. So I probably could have just waited one more second, but so my take profit will be at opening range high. And my stop loss would be below, at least below this fair value gap, but it's only 13 points. So I'm going to put it to the low of this candle here and round it up to 25 points. So my stop loss will be 25 points with a 49 point take profit. So it's like a 2 RR. I do like this candle. We do inverse this gap and the next candle kind of confirms the inversion here. We inversed it on the 1 minute as well. So right now, open range high is pretty likely to be seen. And we did create a tiny 30-second gap here. Hopefully we don't even mitigate it. That would be the best scenario. And boom, open range high, just like that off of the inversion here. If price wanted open range low, we likely would have maybe inversed this gap to get to here. But once we tapped into this gap, this Thursday gap right here, we would have delivered lower, which we did not. We kind of just like traded up. And then once we officially inverse this gap, we moved to open range high with speed. So on the 13th now, skip the first 10 minutes and then 30 seconds. All right, so we do have this big gap here. Closer to the low right now, but again at 9:40 there's still 5 minutes left, which is 10 30-second candles, so it could potentially still get to overrange high, but we'll see. So this very bearish right now. Okay, all right, it's 9:43. So right now pretty much guaranteed that we're gonna hit opening range low because this will be my opening range high. In order to get to opening range high, we would need to inverse this gap, this gap, this gap, and these two gaps are unmitigated as of now. So more likely that price will see this opening range low, which is down here. So just assuming that one side will get hit. I always assume that one side will get hit because again, it's 97% chance. So I'm not going to assume that it may not, especially because it's 97% chance. So open range low, since we're forming closer to open range low, this has a 70% chance to get hit right now. So we did tap into this gap. Let me see if it's a 1 minute. This 1 minute is up here, so it would be nice if we tapped into this 1 minute down here. I mean up here, but we might not need to. So as soon as we get like a bearish candle, pretty much I'm just gonna enter there. Um, so we do create an IFVG here. So I probably would front run this IFVG just because if you wait for the official closure, the candle might close down here and you would have pretty insignificant risk to reward. So I'll front run that IFVG. We did tap into the 1 minute also. As you can see here, we tapped into the 1 minute on this 1 minute by like a tick kind of, but we did tap into it. So I'm just gonna go into 1 second again and then just see if we cross that line and then I will enter. Actually, it's the line lower because I want to front run it, so it would be like down here. All right. It's gonna go in 1 second now. Okay, so this is a pretty big candle here. So we did wicket. Okay, we do get a body closure now. Front running this IFVG. So it's only 4 seconds into this candle. Look how much we moved in 4 seconds. So we might just take out opening range low on this candle here. So I'm just gonna enter short and I'll put my stop loss above this fair value gap right here, like 35 points. And then I'll hold to the 1-to-1. All right, hopefully that's enough to get to my take profit, but I will go break even at opening range low. Okay, so we do hit open range low. I'm gonna go break even now since we did take out my main draw liquidity. Okay, so it took us out break even, but if you just held your take profit to open range low, would have been 17 points. I knew we would hit open range low. It's just that we didn't hit my full take profit. Okay, I guess we did. So if I didn't go break even, I would have still I would have still hit take profit. That's fine. All right. Next day is the 14th. Again, gonna skip the first 10 minutes. All right, so we're halfway done with this month pretty much. So I'm just gonna see here and what happens. So get closer to 9:45 and we'll see what happens. If this gap gets inversed, probably likely that we'll see open range low, but we'll have to see. Okay, so we do inverse it. It's 9:43, so we have like 4 more candles left. Okay, so it's officially formed. So opening range high is over here. And then opening range low is over here. So honestly, this kind of looks like high volume consolidation now just because of what we're doing, like up and this, up and down, up and down. We're like inversing gaps and then re-inversing these gaps. See, we inverse this gap and then we're kind of re-inversing it. There was a small 30-second on the 1 minute. We inverse this gap and this next 1 minute cannot just straight inverse it up again. So in instances like this with high volume consolidation, you really want to wait for a good setup. So ideally, if we inverse this small 30-second, which we see open range high right here. But I will take this entry if we create like a 30-second gap here and then taps back into the gap and then reaches open range high. So if we tap into this gap and then give a bullish candle, I will enter this trade. But it's kind of looks like choppy right now. If we come back down, then it's just gonna continue this waveform pattern. Okay, it does. See, it will like wicks these highs here. It doesn't body close above the highs. It just wicks the highs, kind of like sweeping this liquidity point here. So we do near miss open range high as well. So if we tap into this gap and deliver out of it, that will be a very good trade. We tap into it. Okay, I was right. So then we just straight inverse it. We inverse this lower one too. So this is just kind of choppy right now. In cases like this, I honestly don't even take a trade to open range high and low because it's very hard to predict. See, it's called high volume consolidation because price is just stuck in a 107 point range, which is this will blow a lot of your accounts. So it's important to identify like high volume consolidation before it forms. So at 9:45 right here, we realistically should have taken open range high. Like this candle, I mean, this candle should have been bullish, delivering us out of this gap to get to open range high. But we inversed it and we kind of reinversed it back up. So in case like this, just wait for one side to get hit. And then we usually travel in that direction. So we hit open range low and we probably travel in this direction for a little bit. Um, but I'm just gonna go next. So it's pretty easy to tell if it's high volume consolidation based on like what price should have done. It should have tapped into that 30-second gap and respected it to get to open range high, but we did inverse it. So it's on the 15th now, so we do have PPI. All right, so we did already take out data low. Don't have to worry about that. I'm just gonna skip closer to opening range low. Opening range low is pretty close right now. We did retap into this 30-second gap here, which is nice. However, okay, this is gonna take it instantly. So it's 9:44.59 right now. So this is my opening range low. It's literally like 2 points, so it's just gonna take it instantly, which we do. So there's no entry there. Um, all right, it's gonna skip the first 10 minutes and then go on 30 seconds. So on the 16th, we got no red folder news. We do look closer to open range low. I mean, we're pretty much at open range low right now, so hopefully we just we don't take it instantly. That would be a bit annoying. All right. We are delivering lower. So it's 9:44.30 right now, so this would be my opening range high at 9:30. Whoops. And then right now, this would be my opening range low, but we're probably gonna create a new opening range low. So just going off the basis that we will create a new opening range low. And pretty like 100% confident that we're going to get open range low just since we're right at it. Usually if the next candle is open range low, we take it out instantly. So we have one more 30-second candle to play out pretty much until open range low. So I'm going to take this setup right here just because we tapped into this fair value gap and we did get a body closure under here. So I'm going to set my stop loss. I'll set a bit of a bigger stop loss, like 50 points, and then I'll just see where the next candle is. Like this next candle could be here, it could be here, it could be down here. And just hold the trade until opening range low is officially taken. Because right now, opening range low is like pretty much guaranteed to get hit since opening range high so far. So I'm gonna buy here, put my stop loss here. Oops. Why is it not letting me do that? Oh, it's because I bought. All right, I meant to sell. So I'm selling, take profit, and then stop loss. So I will take profit as soon as open range high and low is officially taken, which it looks like it's right here. So we kind of got a little bit unlucky with this small candle here, but this is kind of free. So this is a free 17 points. It's gonna take out on the next candle like we do there. And then we kind of chop around. But this was my open range low right here, which we took instantly. So it's pretty easy to like know when we're gonna take it instantly, especially if the next candle is open range low or that close to it. All right, this is the 17th. We're displacing lower already. No news. All right, on the 17th, we were pretty low. Might see open range low probably, unless we start displacing up right now. Okay, so it is 9:45. We did not take out open range low, but it's super close. There's a gap right here. If we tap into this gap and get an entry, this would be a good entry. Opening range low is right here, so we kind of like just missed it. So let's see if we tap into this gap. Is it a 1 minute gap? It is a 1 minute gap, so let's see if we get like a closure out of here. Okay, so we actually inverse this gap. So if the next candle doesn't reinverse this gap, then we might actually see opening range high, but it is all the way up here, and there's all these unmitigated gaps in the way. So we'll just kind of have to wait. So we do reinverse it. Do we reinverse in the 1 minute? No. Okay. This is kind of like a rejection wick on the 1 minute. I'm gonna play out one more candle. Because right now open range low is pretty close already. I'm not gonna risk this trade since I don't really like that we inversed it in the first place. Okay. So we did tap into this gap here. Um, all right, we might actually see opening range high. Let's see if we inverse this 1 minute gap, we are pretty likely to see opening range high, just because it's the biggest one here. There's like a tiny one there, but I'm not too worried about it. On the 30 seconds, these are the two biggest 30-second gaps. So I will enter to open range high at the inversion right here. Let's see. So right there. So I'm just gonna go on the 1 second again, and then see um once we cross this line, I will just mark it order. All right, not doing it yet. Just gonna look what happened. So we did retap into this. Actually, no, I'm just barely into this 30-second, but I'm just gonna stay on the 1 second. All right, so we did front run it. So let's see, it was this in 1 minute. So we did tapped into the 1 minute, and in 5 seconds we'll need another 30-second candle. So I'm gonna enter right here off the front run of this 1 minute and these two 30 seconds. Just gonna hold my take profit to open range high, and then I'll set my stop loss below this candle wick here, like 43 points. All right, I'm pretty confident this will hit open range high because now to get to open range low, we have two gaps in the way, and this one also. So there's three gaps in the way. And there's let's see, 1 minute gap here, tiny one here. There's a 2 minute gap, two 2 minute gaps, two 3 minute gaps. So we have a lot of gaps now in a way to get to open range low. 17th, we have orange folder at 10 o'clock. So it is 9:55. So hopefully we just take this open range high before 10, or else we might see a bit of manipulation. Let's see. Okay, I do like that we're traveling up, so I'm pretty confident we're gonna hit open range high right now, which we do. There we go. So if we wanted open range low, we probably would have just took it out right here, or we wouldn't have even inversed this gap. So just because we inverse this gap, it's kind of like open range low is kind of sus, you know. All right, the 20th. Definitely closer to open range high. There is a big 30-second right here. I'm gonna see on the news on the 20th. No news Monday. Okay. Let's see. So I'm likely gonna just take out open range high instantly since, okay, we already took it out. I skipped too fast, but this was open range high right here. And then at 9:45, we took it out instantly. So there's no trade for us. So this day is the 21st. We have no news Tuesday. There's no news this entire week. So we'll just keep that in mind. We got a bit of consolidation here. So let's see. We would need to officially inverse this gap. Like we closed past 50%, but we didn't inverse it yet if we were to get to open range low. But there's still 10 candles, so we do inverse it. We come back up, tap into this 30-second gap here. All right. So in the next 30 seconds, we this is open range low right here, but there's not really a good setup, and we just take it instantly. All right. If we just take out open range higher low instantly, then there's not really anything you can do about it. We'll just have to go to the next day. All right. 22nd, no news this entire week, so I'm gonna see what happens. Price is really choppy right now. Would like it to break out. So we got a body candle closure above all these wicks, so I would like price to start heading up. And best case scenario is it heads up, creates a gap, taps into the gap, and at 9:45, we're able to enter off of a fair value gap or an IFVG up here to get to open range high. But I mean, that's just the best case scenario. With these conditions, probably not. So it's 9:45, open range high is right here. It's super close to price. Yeah, literally like 4 points. Probably gonna take out instantly, which we do. So just a bit unlucky. Let's see. All right. 9:40 right now on the 23rd. Definitely closer to the high right now. Hopefully we don't like take it again. Um So we're probably gonna take open range high just because there's so many gaps to get to open range low at this point. Okay, so I would like this gap to get mitigated. This is my opening range high. Price is like already pretty close to it. We could possibly just take it out of the next scanner without needing this gap. It is also 1 minute gap. There's a smaller 30-second here, but I like this lower one. So we do tap into it. Um, I would like us to close like above this wick or this candle here. Okay, so we don't. We actually inverse this gap, and now conditions are just pretty poor. Possible that we'll see opening range low. This is my opening range low just to be able to see it. All right. We do get a position here, but price is still pretty far from open range low, so I don't think I would have taken this anyway. So yeah, still 70 points away, and price did open up super close to open range high. So ideally, we get open range high just since it did near miss it also. Maybe if price is closer to like less than 50 points, I'll take it. We do create a small 30-second gap, which we do inverse. Okay, we're coming up right now, so conditions are it's not really the best to be honest. It's now like 10 o'clock. Okay, so we do inverse back down. But again, like what I said before, it's kind of like high volume consolidation where we're just going up and down, re-inversing gaps. See, we create these gaps, inverse them, and then just re-inverse them. So I'm not going to take any trade actually. If anything, I would have taken this trade to overrange high if we tapped into this gap and then we delivered out. So if this bearish candle was bullish and closed up here past this previous candle high, I would have taken that trade. But you can see like price is super consolidated right now. This candle should have closed down here, then we would have seen open range low. But instead we kind of inversed it and inversed it back down, like what I said. So it's like 10-20 at this point. So this is actually one of the times, like 2% of the time we don't hit either one. We don't hit open range high and we don't hit open range low by 10-15. So this was like a 2-3% chance kind of day, but you can kind of predict it mostly just on conditions. Okay, so this is the 24th. Just to make sure there's no news. So yeah, no news on the 24th. Let's see. All right, so probably not going to get a setup to this open range low. It's super close. Let's see how close it is. All right, 15 points. There's not really a gap we can deliver out of or inverse also. So this is just gonna have to like, it's probably just gonna take it and we're just gonna have no entry to it. Yeah, it's just gonna take it. Okay. So I think every single like open range high and low I've called out that I was confident it will take. It did take it. It's just that it takes it without a good entry for me. And the fact that, because I'm using like 15 accounts right now, I'm using Take Profit Trader, Lucid Trading, and Tradeify Select, and I'm almost passing these My Funded Future daily accounts. So it's all daily account payouts. So I'm risking like 1 mini with each. So it's 20, 15 to 20 minis. So I'm definitely a bit more skeptical on these trades. So we might take open range low out instantly. And we only like 3 more candles. Would like it to tap back into this gap, but let's see if we do. Okay, that's pretty good. We do tap back into this gap. Um, it is 9:45 too, so right now I'm not even gonna look at open range high because open range low is all the way. It's way close to open range low. If we inverse this gap, we would still need to inverse this gap, and on the 1 minute, we will need to inverse this gap and inverse the 1 minute gap as well. So open range low does look good. However, price is already pretty close to it. Um, let's see if we deliver out of this gap. Okay, so we do deliver out of this gap, which I do like. It is a 1 minute also, potentially in the next 30 seconds. Since this 1 minute candle still has 30 seconds, it might take open range low out on this next candle. So I do like also that we closed below the 50% mark. So I'm gonna enter here. It might be a bit negative risk to reward. I'll have my stop loss 40 points. Realistically, if it comes back above this wick, it's probably gonna inverse it and price may need this gap. So I'm just gonna hold my take profit to open range low because if I hold to 40 points, kind of like the trade where I went break even last time, since open range high and low is a significant draw on liquidity, if I go break even right here, the chance of it going break even like 20 points is very high. So I'm just gonna take my full take profit at this open range low. So I'm learning from my mistake. where I went break even the other time. So I'm just gonna take it out. So this is negative risk reward, but I'm like very confident this is gonna hit. I'm not even gonna set this stop loss on here. Yep, on the next candle, see you can see this 1 minute candle did the second part of this 1 minute candle, which was this 30-second candle here, formed and took out this range low. So very easy to predict once you have enough experience. I've also back tested a lot for open range high and low. Like I've collected a lot of data, so pretty much trading through them like data driven. So let's play, well, I'm the 1 minute. Let's play closer to 9:45. So once again, we are displacing lower, so I would need a pullback at least by like 9:43 or 9:44. So right now, 9:4. Okay, we might take open range low out instantly since it's literally right here. Okay, so we take open range low out. Pretty bad luck. Once price is displacing heavily like that, and we're like completely on one side. By like 9:44, chances of it hitting that one side are super high and usually takes that out without an entry. All right, let's see where price opens up closer to. So it is 9:44 right now. Very consolidated right here. All right, so we have open range high low. So I'm gonna mark both these out since it's not very obvious currently where we are going to hit. So in order to get to opening range high, we will need to inverse this gap right here. In order to get to opening range low, um, there's no gap for us to target. So we did deliver off of this 1 minute, and we did inverse down too. So let's just see what happens. We probably wouldn't get a setup if it does want to go to open range low. So we did tap into this 30-second gap and re-tap into the 1 minute gap. So if we get a candle like lower, I will take this. Okay, so I'm gonna take the setup right here. Just simply for the fact that this candle up was to deliver from this 30-second and 1 minute gap. So I'm gonna set my stop loss 40 points. And then I'll set my take profit at the open range low, which is a little bit over a 1-to-1. Ideally, this next candle creates a 1 minute displacement candle down. See, this is a 30-second candle right now. See, it looks the same as this 30-second candle. So we still have 30 seconds until this 1 minute candle is formed. So hopefully this next 30-second creates a very bearish 1 minute candle. So we have all these wick lows here. We would need a body close below to confirm us going to open range low. If it just wicks it out and starts continuing higher, it's most likely just going to stay chopped here. And now since this gap is already mitigated, could possibly see open range high. So I really want a body closure below these wicks right here. Let's play this out. So we do get a body closure, creates a bearish 1 minute. Let's just play this out. Okay, wow. Wow, pretty see how we just instantly take it out. So this was like a 1 minute trade. I'm just gonna go next. 10 minutes. All right, we are very consolidated right now on the 30th. Let's just see what happens. So we do break above. So usually when we break above out of this chop area here with the displacement candle, we usually continue in this direction. So this is also going to create a 30-second fair value gap here. So if we want to get to open range low at this point in the next few minutes, we will need to inverse this. Possibly could take open range high out instantly. Okay, we're probably gonna take it out instantly. So open range high is right here. We're super close to it. Ideally, we tap into this gap and get an entry. I don't even want us coming down to this gap if we want open range high, but it might take it out instantly, which it does. Okay. So no entry for us there. This is the last day. Friday, no news. So, all right. Skip the first 10 minutes. All right. Last day. Let's see what we get. Okay, we are coming down pretty heavily again. We might not get an entry. Look at all these bearish candles. It's kind of crazy. We need a pullback like right now, which we don't get. So it's going to take open range low instantly. Wow. A lot of times this month, it's taken open range high or open range low instantly. So pretty much if you enter right now, if you want free points, this is, well, like 2 points. This is the freest 3.75 points you'll get. Boom. See, we take it out. So no setup there. And then next day, this is end of July. So we're officially done. If I go next, target is beyond the session. So I'm gonna go back now and see the stats. Our review session analytics. So we had a 100% win rate. We did have that one break-even trade. Where was it? Right here, but I didn't even trade this entire week because we pretty much just took open range higher low out instantly, or the conditions weren't good. So overall, in 1 month, I took 10 trades, 100% win rate, 6.5K. So just imagining this was a 50K. If you had 5 accounts, this would have been like over 35K. And then I have like 10, 15 accounts, almost 20 accounts right now. So this would have been like a lot of money, huh? So open range high and low is super easy to. I think this proves that overrange high-low is the best draw on liquidity. I only target this. I didn't even look at like 5 minute or 15 minute or any other higher time frame delivery. I didn't see if we took any other draws on liquidity or not. Average duration only 2 minutes just because of I was very confident it was going to get to that draw on liquidity. And just looking at the stats, 13%. Let's see. So yeah, just looking at these trades, I had this one break-even trade here, but if I didn't go break even, it would have still hit me out for a full take profit. So if you guys want to learn how to intuition trade like I do, not even to open range high and low, because I intuition trades at any drawn liquidity. So like London high and low, Asian high and low, all these drawn liquidity. So if you guys want to learn more about my intuition strategy like I used today, learn how to read market conditions and everything like that, I do have a free Discord server down below, and I do have a premium, which is open right now. So if you guys want to learn how to trade with me, get some help, then feel free to join the Discord server and just see what's up. All right, that's it for today. Hopefully, you guys have seen how powerful opening range high and low is, and you guys will use it in the future. If you guys have any questions, let me know. My Discord is the best way to reach me, and I'll see you guys next time.